I sought comfort from my imagination, and so I amassed a huge knowledge base, meaningless trivia upon meaningless trivia over and over, and before I knew it, nothing that appeared on TV seemed real anymore. And in quick succession, it also happened to my books, games, and then my family. Finally, I was unable to view myself as anything real, as if I was staring at scenes of another person's life. That's why I was not surprised even when they transferred me to 7F. If I but closed my eyes, the world would always vanish. So I thought I'd be fine, and I did as I thought. Soon enough, my second discharge from the hospital. By the time of my next admission, I'd probably be too weak to stand by myself. I found my own self, the one who couldn't do anything, even though she knew this, to be pitiful. Wait, whoa. Are we looking at the girl's point of view now? I found my own self, the one who had no destination, to be ridiculous. I am looking at it from her point of view now. Oh, I wish it was a bit clearer. Like, I imagine if this was voiced, then maybe it would have been, like, I would have heard the voices, but anyway. My time at a standstill, my heart at a standstill, my chest standing still with huge scars. I'd lived for 22 years now, and I found myself utterly helpless. Oh, January 19th, 2005. Here we go. A few days after that, the overhanging clouds had cleared up, and an endless winter sky was in their place. Oddly enough, my father had come to visit, a difficult expression on his face the entire time. But he was saying something or other about my insurance, and at that time his eyes were not unhappy at all. I have to talk to the doctors for a bit. Saying this, my father strode down the corridor, toward that dim conference room where this had all begun, or so it seemed. My hospital room was now empty. Having nothing to do now, I reached for the weekly magazines that they brought at the stands for me, and accompanying them, just as ever, were the fruits and drinks as get-well gifts. And to one side of the basket that the fruits were piled in, right in front of the melons that I so hated... What is it? What was that? What I saw was a set of car keys. The keys shone silver. These were the keys to my father's pride and joy, that coupe he'd always sweated over from the upholstery on outwards. The coupe that I'd asked to borrow a long time ago, and I'd been told no without a single second's delay. And my still unused driver's license in the breast pocket of my pyjamas. Yes! Go on, I know... you have to. Even after it had lost its chance for use that day, it remained with me, waiting, as if that were its proof of life. Click. In the silence, I grabbed the keys. Yes! Go on! It happened as if on impulse. I had no idea what my motives were, either. I just seized them without a second thought, as if I were looking at a scene on TV. And the few days' worth of meds that I'd been dispensed, I stuffed those into a bag and I headed down the corridor. I snuck past the nurse's station and quickly strode toward the elevators. A bag in my right hand, the keys in my left, the long-neglected driver's license in my breast pocket. In front of the lounge, and the next thing I saw was the girl sitting there watching TV as per usual, staring blankly and boredly at that screen, sitting on a little foldable chair. Hey, that show any good? Does it look that way to you? Nah, not at all. The all-too-expected exchange. Her eyes looked as far away as they always had. Well then, shall we go together? Yeah, boy, come on! What? I continued talking as I showed her the keys in my hand. See? I don't want it to be at home. What? And I don't want it to be on 7F either. Hang on, I think I've got the speed down a bit too far, so let's just shove it down to the middle. Sorry. Well then, shall we go together? Okay. Yes! Go on! With that, she stood up from her chair. Her hair swayed with her and grazed the tip of my nose. And then she too stuffed a few days' worth of meds in a bag, and we made to leave 7F together. I switched off that boring TV. The grating laughter of the MC was forever obliterated. Both of us in pyjamas clad boarded the elevator, heading down from this top floor down to 1F. At 1F, we headed not for the ER entrance, but for the outpatient clinic's entrance. Whoosh goes the wind. The cold winter air struck away at our faces, all the more strong in a wide-open space like the parking lot. The two of us wandered around the spacious field, looking about ourselves with unease, and after a little while we came across my father's car. The silver coupe. It's not bad, it's alright. My father's pride and joy impeccably maintained. I immediately inserted the key and opened the door. Go ahead, get in. Very well. Thud. I sank into the driver's seat. She was in the passenger seat, but she was so short that she'd have a hard time seeing the road. I turned the key into the ignition and stepped lightly on the accelerator, just as I'd learned during training. I love the subtitles for the sound effects. Reassuring engine noises filtered into the cabin. I released the handbrake and then applied the clutch. Now we could go anywhere. That was our plan. All right, let's go. Okay. She nodded slightly. Instead of replying, I shifted into second gear, and the car accelerated smoothly. Unused to the clutch and swerving slightly, I advanced slowly. You're swerving. Yeah, it's my first time in a car. Well, it's the first time since I got my license that I've driven a car. I see. The exit to the parking lot was now in view, and the largest road beyond it without traffic lights. I turned onto it. No, didn't have to pay for parking. No barriers. Great. Wonderful. We need more of that. The sound of honking car horns. Those were directed at me as I cut into the road. The silver coupe complained, but did not stop as I worked the unfamiliar clutch and the stiff gearbox. I must really have rubbed the other drivers the wrong way, as the honking of horns did not seem likely to cease. But I just continued to drive without caring much. None of it quite seemed real at all. Hey, what is it? Are you scared? Do you want me to be? No, not really. Still before noon, a high-flying sun. The skies of January above and beyond the windshield, skies so blue that they seemed almost in mourning. We had no destination. On that cold day with an alien clutch and a swerving car, on that day when we drove onto the highway in our pyjamas, on that very day of winter, Okay, not gonna lie, I thought there was going to be like a sentence after that, but alright, anyway. January 19th, 2005, Ibaraki, Mito Highway. Probably slaughtered those names, absolutely. Around when that blazing high sun had changed into a dusky orange. Ah, there it is. We were continuing to drive, just driving in any direction at random, and in a place that I did not recognize. We're stopping for a bit. Okay. I finally brought the car to a halt. A roadside somewhere, far away from civilization, no traffic anywhere to be seen. Lonely. Having stopped the car in this nameless place, I started inspecting around the cabin. If there was anything useful here, we'd just run off without any preparation at all, but there was something troubling leaping out at me. With that on my mind, I first scoured the dashboard. There's nothing here at all. A couple hundred yen cluttered around the gear stick, a few manga volumes and a cheap disposable camera. It wasn't as if we'd had a destination, but the onboard GPS navigation system looked broken. And I only had about 8,000 yen on me. And that was all the money I had lying around when I up and left. So combined with the pocket change I'd found, I only had 9,000 yen or so. Of course, I hadn't really expected that there'd be anything in the car anyway, but this lack of money presented a problem. It wouldn't be possible for us to find lodging on this budget. And it didn't seem likely that this girl would have any money on her either. Is something the matter? No, it's nothing. Problem? No! Ha 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 ha!